The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. On February 5th and 6th, the StarCityGames.com Open Series returns to Indianapolis, and this event is going to be huge. We're talking hundreds of players, over $17,000 in cash prizes for the Standard, Legacy, and Draft Opens, 18 SCG Invitational slots up for grabs, SCG Players Club benefits, live coverage courtesy of SCG Live, tons of side events, and as much Magic the Gathering as we can pack into one weekend. So make plans to join StarCityGames.com in Indianapolis, and we'll see you there. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another segment here with my friend Glenn Jones, our own coverage manager here at StarCityGames.com, and he is also an avid player of Commander. Now, we have here his top 10 Commander cards from Mirrodin Besieged. Now, what's first?
Green Sun Zenith, one of the best cards in all the constructed formats, and Commander's no exception. Tutors for anything, puts it directly into play, and in green, that's a lot of things. Eternal Witness, Genesis, Fauna Shaman, Gaddock Teague, Acidic Slime, Woodfall Primus, Primeval Titan. Pretty much anything you could want, you can get it, and most of them are green.
Wow. So Green Sun Zenith is obviously ridiculous. What's up next?
Consecrated Sphinx, which is probably not going to be as ridiculous in other formats, but it's really good in Commander. It's very reminiscent of Mind's Eye, a card I personally dislike, although a lot of people like it. I don't like paying mana to draw my extra cards, especially one per card.
Oh, man.
Consecrated Sphinx, you just get the cards, you get double, and it's a May, so you can't be decked.
You are so spoiled. It's just like, do I have to pay 1 mana to draw my card?
It's a 5-mana artifact. You get nothing if they just shatter it, or Shattering Pulse it, which they should be playing.
Okay, you can make feel-bad moments out of it, but for 1 mana, 1 card's pretty good.
Yeah.
Either way, what's up next?
Galvanoth, which is one of my favorite cards from the set. I think it's really fun. It combines well with a lot of the cards I like to play, and a lot of the cards other people like to play also. Mirrodin Guile, Sylvan Library, Top, obviously, Scroll Rack, Crystal Ball. All those cards are really good with it, and let you set up some very interesting interactions, I would say.
Interesting interactions?
As in free sorceries.
Hello, Time Stretch. How you doing?
Yeah, he's also not very big, so he's not like a legitimate threat. He won't encourage people to kill him because they're worried about dying. Like, they might just let you play with him a little, which is very good.
And up next is a big mythic?
Yeah, Praetor's Counsel, which interacts very well with Galvanoth, I feel inclined to point out, as if I was going to regrow my entire graveyard, the upkeep is probably right when I would be interested in doing that.
I would like to do that, wouldn't I?
Yeah, Praetor's Counsel should be completely absurd every time you resolve it. It's not very difficult to win a game after you regrow your entire graveyard in EDH.
I don't think it's difficult in almost any format. You just regrow your entire graveyard.
The no maximum hand size is also nice, because that means you won't have to find your Reliquary Tower, which is nice, because I probably just won't continue to play Reliquary Tower with this card.
Oh, that's nice. All right, so up next appears to be the Sword.
Sword of Feast and Famine. Swords are always good. Every sword is good in EDH, I'm pretty sure, like, even the not good ones. But Sword of Feast and Famine gives you pro from 2 colors that are really relevant, the removal color and the fatty color. And because generals are often multicolored, you can run by a lot of them thanks to 1 sword. Wow.
That's nice. I mean, the swords just, even if their effects are a little bit minor, I feel like they're way powered down these days. But versus, the Big Daddy sword.
I agree that they're more powered down from a normal constructed standpoint, but this one, actually is really good in EDH. Nature's Will is an underrated card, and it sort of lets you Seedborn Muse on your own turn, which, that sounds a little silly the way to say it that way, but that's a really good, strong effect. Omnath has been taking advantage of it, so Omnath's a really good general, especially when you can float a ton of mana, and the sword with Omnath is equally silly. So
yeah, the Omnath seems just fantastic with it. Let's see. So up next is the Shimmer Myr.
Shimmer Myr.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people are excited about Shimmer Myr for Legacy. I think they should be excited about it for Commander too. Artifacts are really good in the format. Everybody plays a certain number of them. It's really good with Top, especially being able to bounce your Top, redraw it, replay it, stuff like that. And the legalization of Bosch and Memnarch as generals, that's been, or commanders, that was done pretty recently. But they haven't really broken yet, and I feel like this card is one of the ways they could easily break. Like, instant speeding a Memnarch is ridiculous. Flashing in Bosch is also ridiculous.
Wow.
Both of those are just really good.
It seems unbelievable. I mean, it's funny how they sort of had to unleash those generals, because of the color.
Yeah, a lot of the cards in this set, and naturally the block, are working very well with both of those generals, I think.
Yeah, and Commander has gotten plenty of tools. Therein. So up next appears to be the Spine.
Spine of Ish Sah, which also works great in Bosch, but Vindicate in any color is just good. Spine is going to be played a ton in EDH, and the way to get it back is also going to be really easy. Cards like O-Stone, Nev's Disc, Austere Command, Akroma's Vengeance, all those cards are played pretty ubiquitously, and all of them will give you back your Spine of Ish Sah. So you don't actually have to put any work into recurring the card. It'll just recur naturally over the course of a game, destroying generally lands I think is what you'll most commonly be using it for. Wow. Stuff like Volrash, Stronghold, Maze of Ith, cards that get in the way but are hard to destroy.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, that it sort of almost naturally repeats itself is a beautiful...
The games become such grinds, you just will be able to play it over and over, and an EDH costing 7 mana is not that big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with EDH, / Commander, you can do things like Throne of Geth, and just continually recur it and get bonuses off, you losing it, essentially.
Throne of Geth seems nice.
Yes.
Blightsteel Colossus.
Oh.
The fatty of choice for the set. He's going to see a lot of play in formats where you try and cheat fatties into play, and Commander's always been that kind of format. So you'll be playing Blightsteel Colossus a lot. He's pretty good alongside Bosch also. Just because he's 12 damage, you don't obviously get the infect unless you equip Grafted Exoskeleton to your Bosch, and then you could kill pretty much anyone.
So, quickly.
Yeah. Grafted Exoskeleton is a staple in Bosch, in case you didn't know. Some people apparently don't.
Right, and if it's not in your decks, then maybe it should be. Oh, absolutely. So up next is the Myr Welder?
Myr Welder.
Oh.
I like Myr Welder. He's small, he's kind of unassuming, but I feel like he can do some really silly things. There are tiny things like where maybe you'll get to copy a top or a scroll rack or some little artifact and just get a few good uses out of him, but you'll also be able to break up stuff like Mindslaver locks or stop someone else from spining you, random stuff like that. I like him. He's small, he's not going to draw a lot of attention, but I feel like he can be a big role player in the format, so I think he's very strong in that regard.
That's awesome. And lastly is one of the most confusing cards ever.
Yeah. Knowledge Pool, the humility of Mirrodin Besieged, I think. Knowledge Pool seems just like a lot of fun. I don't know how its strategic applications are going to work out, but it breaks up some things that you wouldn't think about. Like combo decks, it's really hard to go off when you have to play an additional spell per spell you're playing, and people can jump in and steal your spell. If I'm trying to turnabout myself, I have to cast the turnabout, but I don't get it. It just goes into the pool, and if I was doing it on someone else's turn, they actually have priority, so they can steal the turnabout before I even get to play another spell to play it. So, you need to know your priority rules with the card, which a lot of people are a little iffy on, but
you need to study up on those priority rules.
Yeah, it's just really weird. I think the card has to create some pretty fun states, though.
Oh my god! It just I'm doing this, and then we're switching that, and then we're switching this in the back. It just seems great. That's just a big goofy card, that you
Tons
can
of
print.
Fun.
Yeah, at that mana cost, it's not going to hit constructed. It's just this fantastic casual goodness. So tell me about your honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. There are cards I like some of these cards. They're kind of not splashy enough, I would say, for a top 10 list, but we've got Frantic Salvage, which is Foot Bottom Feast for artifacts. I always liked Foot Bottom Feast in limited and in some Commander decks, EDH decks. And for artifacts, it's really good. You can get back stuff like Crucible of Worlds and just to stack your deck with the best towards the end of the game. O-Stone is obviously in every deck, I'm pretty sure. There's a Metallic Mastery, which threatens any artifact. And it's not going to be as good as a Shatter a lot of the times, but the times when it is are really interesting, opposing Blightsteel Colossi, for instance. But it also just is really good against stuff like O-Stone, where you can borrow it for a turn unless they pop it in response, or make them pop it in response, stuff like that. So it's kind of versatile, even though it's kind of niche. Yeah, another good one is Gruesome Encore, which unearths a guy in your opponent's graveyard.
Right.
That's pretty good. There are a lot of small applications, just like the black deck being able to steal an Eternal Witness or gaining access to an acidic slime to destroy something else. All of those are pretty relevant.
Nice corner cases. We also didn't mention in any of the top 10 was the generals. Didn't actually, because those are sort of the default.
Yes.
Obviously, when we played in Commander, if the legends are going to be,
There are two legends. Glissa, who I really like, and Thrun, who I wish I really liked.
He's just too green, isn't he?
That's the thing. Thrun is better than Ural the Miststalker in virtually every way. He's easier to cast, he's cheaper, he's more resilient. He doesn't get pumps from the enchantments, but that's not that big a deal because it usually took 2 swings or 3 swings to kill with Ural anyway. But the problem is he's too easy to cast. He's too few colors. You can't play Shield of the Oversoul, Runes of the Deus, which were the 2 best ones for Ural pretty much. Right. And it just severely limits what you can throw on him. I think he's still really good. But
he's just untargetable and Troll Shroud and regenerate.
The regeneration is actually huge, considering a lot of people lean on Oblivion Stone for their defense. They don't play stuff like Wrath of God, because Wrath of God's really efficient, but in a game that's, you're only going to have 20 mana, it doesn't really matter if your Wrath costs 4 or 10, you might as well play the best Wrath you can.
Sure.
So.
Wow. Well, those appear to be your top 10 plus your honorable mentions. Glenn, I'd like to thank you for your time.
No problem.
And we will be back shortly with more awesome top 10 lists from Mirrodin Besieged.
always like the fatties.